And we're live again. Welcome back. Or hello if you weren't with us earlier. This is going to be a quick introductory scenario of sorts, just to explore a few of the mechanics of the game Aglaeca. And we have our crew at the moment. And you've got Jay, Mark, Phil, and Dan. And if I could just ask you to give it about a 30-second intro on your characters, if you wouldn't mind. We'll start with Jay first.
So is that me? Sorry, I was eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm Baylor the Hunter. I'm a young male. I'm a ranger. I come from Midfern. I'm quite solitary, but I'm also quite curious of my surroundings. I'm to a point of actually being curious to the point of actually being dangerous with it. I'm also quite superstitious, but that's because I was brought up as a farmer in a farming family. I see a lot of things as omens and so forth. But on the other side of that, I gained some benefits to understanding how plants and so forth grow, which means my foraging is hopefully improved. But anyway, yeah, I'm a ranger. I'm from Midfern, and my name is Baylor.
Thank you. Mark?
Yeah, my character is Farron. He gained the epithet Kinslayer. He killed his father in self-defense, but nobody believes him, so he was hounded out of the village. He's a warrior character covered in tribal tattoos, and doesn't really mix with people. He's got a bit of a grudge about anybody, chip on his shoulder, and he really wants to prove that he did this in self-defense, so he's driven to become a hero.
Yeah. Bill?
Good evening. I'm playing Tor Anna. He's from Drofeld. He's around 25, male. He is a rogue, and he is going to get rich even if he has to steal it. So he's quite good at what he does, but he's not entirely trustworthy.
Right, the party's shaping up nicely. Dan?
Okay, so I played Tomor Batar, which is a relatively young, relatively naive, but huge horse tribesman from the south, from Anadlund. He has a much suffering stout riding pony, I'm guessing, called Sanai, which means rose in Mongolian. And he is a huge man mountain that carries a massive metal hammer, a massive hammer with a huge lump of ore on the end, which was gifted to him by the god Asgria, the Stormlord. He was a farmer until Farron walked into his life and told him about all the world outside of the Grass Sea, and he wanted to go see it for himself, see the world and explore.
Thank you very much. Okay, as you can see, we're on Roll20. It's going to be more theatre of the mind than actual moving counters around, which is the way I prefer it, actually. So it's just there, just to show you a quick idea of the world. That's the picture on the left. This adventure occurs in Drofeld, which is one of the northern kingdoms, or queendoms actually. And over on the right is just a preview, a quick snippet of what is to come. Yes, the tomb in the woods. So the premise of this game is that, just trying something. If I click on me, will it stay on me all the time? Yeah, premise of this short adventure is Queen Maldar of Drofeld who normally charges a percentage of people's gains from robbing tombs in her realm, has reduced the percentage down such that it's now viable for people to come in and explore these places. You four have actually got together for various reasons. You probably met up in the city, and have actually worked your way over the next day or so towards the forest and towards this particular tomb in question. Because it's the site, allegedly, of the burial place of an ancient general, great general called Travanius, who apparently was really fantastic general of the time, who fought against the invading Poison Lands. But the whereabouts of his tomb was lost to history until fairly recently, and one or two of you have come across some information as to where it might be located. So you're heading off that way into the woods, and the opening scene is you've made a camp. It's early evening. You're all sitting around this fire, just chatting about things, and you're in the woods now. Your horses are tethered and hobbled to one side. Night is drawing. You reckon you're about a half a day away from the site of this tomb entrance. So there we are. The scene opens. Fire. A huge shadow cast by the horseman. And guess by what you were saying earlier on, you're all sort of sitting at compass points around this fire, not really talking to each other. But anyway, needs must in this time, and the potential for treasure and wealth and fame and fortune is quite good. So you're gonna have to work together on this one. And let's do a bit of let's have a roll. Let's have an academic roll. See who actually knows something of what's going on.
Okay.
And the way we do that is you have your dice pool, which is your academic dice pool.
Mm-hmm.
And the difficulty is going to be a 5. So if you look on the roll 20 down the bottom left, I've created a few macros down there. And if you click on the ability and Aglaeca dice, that's the first tab. That will bring up a box. I'll go through it myself just to show you. That opens up a box where you can type in the value of your dice. So, for example, if you just have 2 dice, you'll be rolling 2d6 against the target number. The difficulty target number is a 5 to start with, unless you've got any benefits or problems which would affect this number. May increase it or decrease the chance of success.
My apologies, but I don't see the macros. Wasn't there a button I need to press to make them visible or something?
No.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything. It's me that has to do it.
Okay.
I think.
Ooh, look at that. I've got 3 successes and a hero.
Ooh.
Dan, I'm struggling now.
Sorry.
Dan, if you look in the second from the left, I think it's collections. Have you ticked the boxes
There
there?
we go. Show. I knew there was a. I've got show macro quick bar. It just brings up a grey space. There's ability. Okay, ability dice, Aglaeca, and Aglaeca die. There we go.
There you go.
You should get a red one come up then.
You may need to refresh as well.
Okay, I'll just refresh. Which of those options should I be picking?
It's the ability dice plus Aglaeca dice.
Yeah.
Right. And I just put in my number that I have for academia,
Yeah.
which is 1.
Yeah.
And then submit, and then the TDN is 5, you said.
Yes.
Done it.
I got a monster?
Yeah, that's bad.
But I made the success.
You got the success, so you succeeded, but at a slight cost.
Okay.
Right, so
I am superstitious, so we could have some superstitious leadings if you need some suggestions for what bad might happen.
yeah, you've heard tales about this the north. You don't see so many down south, but there are demi-humans. There are elves and dwarves. Now the dwarves are Draga. They are the only demi-humans that are actually accepted in certain circles of society, because they can manufacture goods and things to high quality, much sought after artwork. But the elves are nasty, twisted beings, probably more like dark elves in scope.
Okay.
So you've heard something about these, and it's intriguing as well as scary in a way. But you would be constantly looking over your shoulder, because this is apparently the kind of terrain that they like. These dark, brooding forests, holes in the ground, places away from civilization, and this is where you're going now. So this place is quite likely to be full of these elves, the cloth elfer, as they're known.
I do not like this. I've heard tales of these elven creatures that steal children from their cradles.
Oh, don't worry about that. This trip's going to make us rich.
Do I know any more about the area? As
Yep, you're the man in the know. You will know that. Yep. In fact, you're the person who's got all the gen on this, and you're confident that you're now very close to being where you need to be. There's apparently an old unnamed tomb not too far away, perhaps half a day's march now from here, for a bit further south. what you would know also is that a female heroine about 10 years ago, a woman named Ilis, allegedly went there too, and she was never heard of again. And that happened about 10 years ago, and that was the last anyone has ever known of this place. Yeah, the tomb of Travinius, who was, like I mentioned before, an ancient general of the time. And there should be, if rumour's anything to go on, and the information that you've found, there should be plenty in there, plenty of loot.
well, I'm going to keep that kind of information myself. Really, I'm just going to listen to whatever superstitious crap. The husband.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you wanted to come on this trip. Gird up your loins. Don't be such a wimp.
I'm not a wimp. And like he bristles towards you. His shoulder's probably like twice as long across as yours are.
Yeah, and of course, Farron will stand up to you, toe to toe, nose to nose.
Oh, God, they're arguing again.
They were friends like those.
I think like he holds that for like a good tense 30 seconds, and then like breaks into a smile and like shoves you a bit.
Yeah, and Tomar, you kill me. Goes and sits down again.
Tomo's just checking, like always looking past people, like into the forests, so that he doesn't bring it up again.
Good. Well, I guess you would have been foraging, got yourself some local wildlife to supplement whatever you brought with you.
I would have shot a few rabbits or whatever, and look for some mushrooms or tubers or anything like that. I can actually we stick in a pan. I'd probably get some trail
Get some broth going, some lovely aromas from roasting wildlife, rabbits.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's nice. The weather's nice as well. So although it's evening now, it's starting to get a bit chilly. It's not raining, and the sky there's a slight breeze running through, and wispy clouds blowing across through the trees, as you can see as you look up. Yeah, it's a nice evening, and it gradually gets darker and darker, and you can set watches if you like, just like you've done on previous days. This, have you any preferences for order of?
Yeah, Farron will take first watch.
I'll go second.
Yeah, I'll do the last one then.
All right, Balo will do the third. All right. So who was on first? Did you say?
Farron.
Right. Okay. Everyone else can roll a single d6. This is just for a random event. One for Tor.
Six. Yeah. Baylor,
could you just roll a single d6?
Yep.
Yes.
One.
Nice. Well, that's good actually. For most of you. So there must be something playing further on your mind, something deeper set than these superstitions as well, Tamar. Because as you drift off to sleep, you start having strange dreams. They start off reasonably enough of the homeland, but things get slowly more dark and sinister to such a point where they become, even for you, nightmarish. So I need you to make a courage roll.
Okay.
So same thing, and difficulty is 5 again.
Okay, I've got 3 dice this time to play with.
Does Farron notice this?
I imagine he's tossing and turning a little. Those are some good dice. Yeah. I imagine the huge form of him is tossing and turning a bit in his sleep.
And incidentally, this is where I can mention that you could use Aglaeca points. When you use an Aglaeca point, you flip it over, so they're currently showing the hero side, the hero glyph. And if you flip them over, you can actually use them to either give you a benefit to the number of dice you roll, or a benefit to the modified to the task difficulty number.
Okay.
It's what's called exerting yourself, which is more of a physical thing, which gives you extra dice, and the other one is a mental concentration, which reduces the difficulty.
Okay.
So you could increase the number of die just by flipping, and the way you flip them on Roll20 is right click. And where's it gone?
I've got take card and flip card on. these things.
Oh, it's gone off screen. Yeah, on the actual counters themselves. It's called flip card.
Okay.
So, for example, that one there flipped to the monster side
Yeah.
when you spend them. There's two ways of doing it. Oh, sorry, use them. You use them to gain extra benefits, and you spend them to actually, when you're calling upon the gods,
Right.
which is basically the magic. But yeah, you might have to do that at some point. Who knows? We'll see.
I should bear that in mind. But is 2 successes reasonable enough for bad dreams? Or should I?
Yeah. You wake up before it gets too bad. You're broken out in a sweat, but you felt something was definitely playing on your mind.
So I think he sits up, like shaking his head and rubbing like the side of one of his temples with a huge hand. And you're on watch, Farron.
Yeah, I found. Oh, sorry, I'm not on mute. Yeah, so Farron was walking over because you were making too much noise and was about to kick you. But you just woke up in time.
So he looks up at you, like focusing on the shadowy figure.
Shut up!
They're in my head. Those elves.
Elves. Get back to sleep. You're up soon.
Oh. And he kind of like gives the camper a once look over and probably looks at the retreating form of Farron and probably doesn't get back to sleep, but lies down until his watch.
Okay. Nothing else happens during that watch. You've gradually recovered yourself such that it's not going to affect you, which is good. So it's your watch.
He is paranoid on his watch, particularly paranoid, like weapon out, holding it like between. I imagine he's sitting on a log and he has like the star mace end of it down in the dirt, and he's just like his hands are like white knuckled or something, rubbing, grinding against the weapon for security.
Okay. Yeah, so there's that irritating grinding noise as Farron drifts off. Everyone not on watch, roll the d6 again, please.
Oh God.
Okay. Right, Tor and Baylor, and if you would roll courage, there's something. You started having dreams, like I said earlier, about your childhood, the homeland, time on the farm, wherever you were, but it gradually gets more and more.
That still gets to 5.
Scary, fearful, yes. Against the 5.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Can spend an Aglaeca point to re-roll if you wanted.
No, I don't think I will actually.
I think I will. I'll use the point because I've got 3, so I've got more than the average. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I'll do.
So I'll re-roll the re-roll of that. So
I'll put you on the orange at the top, so you spent one.
Wow. 8 dice and none of them are a 5 or above.
Both of them are balanced.
Yeah. Well, okay. Right. You're still in deep sleep, but the shuffling and rolling and groaning produced will actually attract Tamar's attention. Two of the group just muttering to themselves.
Yeah, Farron's lay down in the nice sort of warm depression left by Tomor, and is now quite happily asleep.
So wise to the elf's tricks. His eyes are wide and alert as his companions start to roll around a little. So he gets up slowly, probably with a creak off this log or something, and hefts this mace that most people would probably struggle to hold in two hands, and he holds it in one, and kind of just slowly, cautiously moves towards them in case like they need some sort of a waking up. Not with the mace, ideally. He's going to kick him probably, but
Oh, that's good to hear. You get maced in your sleep.
Okay. Make me an observation roll as you're making your way over, and I guess looking around because you're expecting to see elves all over the place.
4 dice.
No, normally be a 5 difficulty, but I think in this case your superstition and your earlier experience make it 4.
Nice. 2 successes.
2. Oops, I need to make a roll, don't I? This is an opposed roll. Right, so these creatures, if they do exist, then they're probably giving away the game here. But this is a playtest. Creatures have a threat value, and their current threat value is 2, which means they get 4 dice. It's just simply doubled. They are creatures of dark and solitary places. Their difficulty to hide in the woods would be a normal 4, but because of their benefits, I'll make it a 3 for them. And this is basically an opposed roll. Right. So you thought you could see things, you can see shadows, you can see what you think are lights reflecting on something, but when you blink and look back, they've gone.
Mm-hmm.
You get the impression that you're being watched, but you can't see anything tangible out there.
And I think also, given the others chiding him when he brought it up, maybe there is a reluctance, so he is like erring on the side of not saying anything rather than saying something. So maybe he sees something and then disbelieves it, kind of thing. That's working against him. He'll keep a close eye, and if anyone like gets too, noisy or like night terrors or whatever, he'll wake him up. But
yeah, it's not quite that bad.
Okay.
But they are definitely maintaining this noise, this discomfort throughout most of your watch. They do come quiet occasionally, but when you think, oh, that's all right, they've settled down again, they'll start moaning and groaning until your watch is over.
And it's Baylor waking up next?
I think it was Baylor next. Yeah, because Tor's going last.
So I give him like a rough shake with one huge meaty hand.
Okay, I'll get up and position myself on the watching log, and
it is your time. I think the Elfa got to you too. You did not sleep well.
There's traces of memories of still fleeting in your mind as this virtually a nightmare that you just experienced.
Are these woods known for elves?
Yeah, I think as soon as you got a 3, yeah. Yeah, this is the sort of terrain you think, even though you were scoffing at Tamar's suggestions, you have heard something about elves inhabiting deep dark forests.
Right. Well, sorry.
And you will definitely know that they have a penchant for affecting humans' dreams and causing nightmares.
Right. Okay. I'll keep an eye on the tree line and keep my ears open, really. Basically, any sounds or anything else. I presume it's dark.
Yeah, and even though you've had a few hours sleep, you don't really feel as though you have, really, with all that tossing and turning that you've been doing, the fitful slumber that you've had.
Yeah.
You find yourself yawning a bit more often than you might have expected.
Right. Well, I'll the fire lit and.
Yep. But everyone not on watch. You get the message. You get the idea. D6s again. Ah, you've all had a go then. Good stuff. Yeah, Farron. Courage roll, please. Difficulty 5, unless you've got anything that you might think, oh, I just remembered something. No, it's alright, it's alright. Yeah. No, that's alright. Yeah, in a similar vein to... Timor. In a similar vein to Timor, you wake yourself up before it gets too bad. However, something that's happening further down the row with Tor. Could you make another roll, please, Tor?
Yeah.
But you know you got a 1. I've just remembered that your character has weak will.
Okay. You want a courage roll, yeah?
Yep. Okay. Yep. Everyone hears Tor come out with this the scream just as he wakes up. Something crept out of your nightmares and woke you up, Tor, and you're just lying there drenched in sweat, breathing heavily, eyes open wide, staring up at the dark.
What was that? Where am I? Oh, Christ.
The huge, unblinking black eyes were the last thing you saw, with the teeth full of spiky, spiny.
Where did it go? Where did it go?
Maybe you believe me now, little man.
Oh, I don't know what it was. It's probably your stories. You're going to be thinking about it now.
Sure, just stories.
Oh, I feel like I've been drinking last night. I can't got any sleep.
Yep, that's right. You don't feel like you've had any sleep whatsoever. In fact, you were just about halfway through Baylor's watch there. And it's close to yours, isn't it? So you might as well stay up.
Oh. I'm just going to sit next to the fire. At least I can keep warm.
If he's getting up, then I'm going to go sit back down again.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Well, you know, not look a gift horse in the mouth or anything.
Okay, so I'm up now.
Yep, you're up. Everyone else is settling back down again after being rudely awakened.
And a bit pissed off as well. Just grumbling to myself.
Fenn's still fast asleep. He wasn't worrying about that little things like that.
Good. So, Tor's watch. Everyone not on watch. D6. Although, yeah, I think there's going to be modifiers on this. You can have a -1 on these rolls because it looks like you found the target.
I'm rolling again, but I passed previously.
Yeah, it's every watch.
Oh.
These things are looking for a
And-
target, but you get a -1 on this D6 because.
Okay.
So I got a 1 then.
Okay. So that's still 3 dice, but it's now target number 6 rather than 5.
No, a D6. D6 to see whether just a random roll to see who they're picking on.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. Apologies. I thought I was making a courage roll. Oh.
That's it. If you end up with a 5 or a 6 on your dice roll.
So shouldn't it be a +1 rather than a -1?
No, they're going for the bigger numbers.
Yeah, but so if we were at a benefit, we're going to benefit from the -1.
This is
Yes.
D6 roll. Yeah,
Okay.
-1. So the lower the better.
Okay.
This is not a skill check. This is just something I've thrown in for this
Cool.
random target. Might have been easier if I'd just rolled a D6. Too late.
I mean, I don't think anyone's nightmaring now.
No, they're not nightmaring you. They've found someone that
Oh, okay.
play with. So, Tor, he's sitting there.
Mhm.
Everyone else has gradually gone back to sleep, and they all seem to be snoring soundly.
Yeah, that pisses Tor off even more, that does. Bastards all gone to sleep.
And you just, are you doing anything particular? Just sitting there facing the fire, just looking at the flames, feeding it, keeping it going.
Keeping it going, might do a bit of whip then on a stick or something, and flicking some of the shards towards the sleeping figures.
Courage roll. This time it will be an opposed roll.
Sorry, it's against the what, sorry?
Courage.
Yeah, against TDN?
5.
5 again, okay.
Right, you've done some whittling, feeding the fire, and staring at the fire. There's the flickering, the shapes the flames are making. It's very mesmeric, therapeutic, in fact. Yeah. This is nice. This is nice. And one final roll.
6. Do you want a D6 or do you want a...
Courage. So courage again.
Sorry.
Yeah. Something's whispering inside your mind.
Ooh.
Soothing words speaking your name.
Oh, I'm looking around, so I suddenly look around and... what's that?
Oops. 2 and 3.
I'll look closely at the other sleeping ones. Yeah, they just make sure they're not playing a trick on me and they're just whispering.
No, they're fine. And you ended up with 0. Do you want to re-roll that?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go mad here in a minute. Got worse.
Okay. Did Tor have a sweetheart in his youth?
Yeah, possibly before he left home.
Well, this voice, it sounds very much like your old sweetheart. And as you look around, things are moving slowly, almost dreamlike, and just a ways off, maybe 50 yards or so in the tree line, you can see her. It must be her. She's smiling to you, beckoning you in a flirty way, giggling. You can hear her voice, a trilling laugh in your mind as she gestures you to follow her.
And Tor won't be sure if it's happening or not, but he might be dreaming. But if it's a dream, yeah, we'll get up and follow her. Yeah, lovely. This is brilliant. I've gone to sleep after all. He gets up and starts stumbling around towards the figure.
Observe rolls from everybody else. Difficulty 5.
Okie dokie. Observe. All right. Ooh.
Hero, whatever that means. Didn't succeed, but got. Oh no, did. Two
Did.
successes as a hero.
Succeed, yeah. Okay. Yeah, both Balar and Tamar awaken in different states. Balar's bleary-eyed, and something's definitely woken you again, and you're totally pissed off with that, I would imagine. But yeah, Tamar, you're up on your feet and ready, and you can see that Tor looks like he's going to be blundering off into the woods. You can also make another observe roll immediately. Difficulty 4.
So 4. Oh. So if I use an Aglaeca point, I can re-roll all of those dice, including all those many ones.
Yep.
I just roll it again. 4. Difficulty 4. Oh, this time I succeed 4 times.
And a hero.
I get a hero again. So yeah, I come up swinging with my huge maul into nothing, possibly, but then spot whatever's going on.
Yep. You see Tor walking away from the fire towards what can only be a Clough Delpher, a tall, spindly creature with huge, unblinking black eyes that reflect what little light there is in the area straight back, and it looks directly at you.
I shout Alpha to like wake everybody, and then start like barreling towards where Tor is. To basically, I want to like shoulder barge him and just knock him some sense into him, possibly knock him to the floor, and charge the thing with the star mace, star maul.
Okay, then it's going to turn and run, and I would say in the conditions that we're in now, you start running after it, and you get as far as Tor quite quickly, shoulder barging, do what you're wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, it just flitted. It's like the air around it shifts, and it dashes away into the night. And you don't think you'd be able to reach it, go at the speed it's going at, but you could perhaps track it later.
Okay.
You're too far away.
Yeah.
There's just there's too much ground between you and it looked like it was in its home terrain. So unless you want to go running after it in the night on your own.
Not particularly. And it's too dark to make the tracks out now. They'd have to wait till morning. So.
Yeah.
What on earth are you doing?
Yeah, what Tor's sitting on his ass.
What are you doing? Knocking me over.
That was an alpha.
Snap out of it.
Phone wakes up at the shouting, and
Yeah.
bleary-eyed, he looks over. Tamar, that They're not there. It's in your head.
Say that to this fool. You must have walked off into the forest after them.
No, in the morning, I'll lay back down again.
I was just having a nice dream. You just couldn't push someone over in the middle of the night.
He kind of like leans down almost towards you, towering over you. It was not a dream. That was a creature of the forest. He tried to abduct you, just like a child.
Who do you call a child?
And he just kind of like gives you a look and then like walks past you back to the camp. Still mace in hand.
Well,
So, pick myself up and dust myself off and clean up a bit and
Yeah.
grumbling. And
it's just that those few hours before dawn when you get the birds are singing now in the trees, and the air is quite sharp.
I think we could track them, Baylor, when the light is better.
We can definitely try.
Perhaps then you know something of this tomb.
Well, if we, I know where it is.
And you're still willing to go?
Yeah.
Surrounded by these creatures.
Well, there are people we've chosen to come with us to this this cave. Oh, you mean the other creatures? Oh, right. Yeah.
You're a funny man.
We'll, well, maybe they won't appear in the day.
We can but hope. And he sits down heavily, and like the mace thuds into the dirt next to him.
Tor, you don't feel well.
yeah, just
Yeah, he's
terrible.
totally drained. But Baylor's, he doesn't look much better, but at least he's still cracking jokes. But you just do not feel.
It's worse than drinking all night. Oh.
Yeah, in fact, you're going to be suffering for the next few hours at least until midday. A -1 dice on everything.
Oh no.
Yep, you feel like you're still in the dream. Actually, you just got that feeling about you. So, but a nice breakfast might do something about that, and it's fairly close to dawn now. So maybe you can rustle up something out of what was left from tomorrow, from yesterday's fair, last night's fair, and make a hearty breakfast. Cheer you up. And, maybe even have a swig of some of that booze that you keep on about.
Can I have some more breakfast?
It's time. Eat up. He like throws a bowl in your direction or something, or into the dirt beside you.
Oh, that's the nicest thing Gamir's ever done for me.
Yep, so you have breakfast, lost in your own thoughts as the sun slowly warms the forest, burning off the slight dew that was around.
Tor keeps sort of nodding off a little bit and catching himself through breakfast and
I'm going to ready my gear for a trek. Make sure everything's at hand so I can quickly get to it if I need to.
Yeah, that bit of something to eat and the daylights brought you back to your senses, so you're all right. You won't suffer any ill effects from fitful sleep. it's just Tor that's going to be suffering that for a few hours yet.
Tamor shakes his head at Tor, just like him. I don't know, fulfilling his stereotypes of weak Northerners, and he's going to go have a look at those tracks if he can. Baylor, do you want to see if we can track the beast? How much is an elf hide worth?
I prefer to maybe go look at this tomb and get that over with, and then we can leave this forest rather than go heading towards the very thing that would be the dangerous aspect of this venture.
I suppose that is why we have you around.
For logic.
Thinking, yes. The tracks don't, like, from a cursory glance, like that wasn't the direction we were going to be heading in, was it?
Yeah, are they going in the direction of a tomb, by any chance?
That's what I was thinking. I wondered.
No.
Right.
But they weren't the opposite direction. They're more like 90 degrees.
I think we should just maybe head towards his tomb, get in there, get what we came here to do, and get out. If there's one, there's going to be more, and that's what we're here for, really.
Very well. I will keep an eye out.
Yeah, if they come, if they appear aggressively, then we'll deal with it. But I think our main purpose is to get here and gain our wealth rather than our deaths.
Our glory.
Well, maybe your glory, but for me it's wealth
Yeah, we're all going to be rich
or dead. Anyway, look at it.
and famous, rich and famous.
I'm dead.
And dead.
Yeah, good. Pack all your gear up. Put the fire out. Make sure everything's as you found it.
Have we got our horses with us as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The horses seem to have had a nice night's sleep. They're quite refreshed.
I rely on my horse to get me there. Then just follow the others.
It is possible to ride through this forest. It's not that dense.
I'm going to be pretty much lying down on top of it. So.
There are animal trails, and I guess Baylor will be leading the way. Since that's his job, and he's the one who seems to know
Yeah,
what's going on.
I'm happy to do that. I don't know if I need to do anything to do that, but I'm heading through the trees.
Can I assist in any way? I have 5 survival dice.
Well, keep an eye open for foodstuffs and anything that you think will be handy. It's always good to have extra food. Because we don't know how, once we get to this tomb, we don't know what's going to be around it. Keep an eye on tracks as well. If you see any more of those tracks that are similar to the ones from last night, just so we know if these things have been hanging around the tomb.
Tamor does that thing, where you use your fingers to point at your eyes, and then he points them back at you and gives you a grin, and then.
Okay. I'll start. I'll just walk ahead and keep an eye on where I'm going and heading towards the direction of where I think the tomb is.
In game terms, you can assist, and what it basically do is the person with the highest dice would do the rolling, and they'd get an extra dice for everyone who's assisting.
Well, I'm not gonna. I mean, if he can happily keep an eye on the tracks of these elves, make sure that there's, or whatever they were, and not and just if they any that cross our path as we travel, then it's me time to just spend getting through the forest. And
all right, it would be survival then, plus any kind of tracking. If you have the tracking a bit, I don't think you have the tracking benefit. I think anybody's got it. So Tamor, you can do a survival roll, and Baylor can do one as well. See if he's on the right tracks.
Okay, what's the difficulty?
It's 5 for watching the watching out for the alpha tracks, and a 4 for making sure you're in the right direction.
Okie dokie.
Find the cave.
Oh, come on. I roll 5 dice and I don't get 1 success. God damn it.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's okay as well. A single success is good. Yep, so you're definitely heading in the right direction for this tomb. And there are no tracks, so it's fairly obvious that the elves have gone off to one direction or the other, and they're not crisscrossing your track. Behind you too, there's Tor on his horse, and I guess is Farron bringing up the rear then?
Yeah, I think that would make sense. He's got quite good survival, so he'll keep the rear guard.
Okay. Good.
Do you need me to roll?
Not unless you're looking for anything in particular. If you're just keeping a watch out.
Just give me a watch out for anybody who's sneaking up on us from behind.
That nothing happens. And for the next couple of hours, as Tor gradually comes around, so that's cheering up a bit. Get there. Bird song, lovely morning, and there through the trees, you see the point of your adventure. The tomb entrance.
The entrance to the tomb.
There it is. Sunlight casting down upon it, so breaking the trees.
Right, I'll have a quick scoot around, have a look around and make sure there's nothing sort of no obvious kind of ambushes or what look to be traps or anything like that. As I sort of move towards the tomb entrance.
I'll slide down off the back of my horse as well and tie it to a nearby tree and just look at the tomb entrance a little bit and see what I can see and try to assess the situation. How safe does it look?
Okay, so we're looking at survivals for Baylor and probably an observe for Tor.
Okay, what difficulty?
Difficulty is 4.
Sure.
Yeah, Farron's still keeping guard, basically.
Is that still a 4 for my observe as well?
Yes.
Am I still -1?
Yeah, you're just slowly coming around, but yeah, we'll give you a -1 on this one.
That's a 1 and hero.
Yeah. There's definitely been some traffic around. Baylor. In fact, yeah. Baylor can see the tracks of these definitely aren't human footprints.
Right. And how recent are they?
Very recent. Very recent, indeed. And Tor, something catches your eye. It's, just off to one side as you slip down off. As you slip down off your horse and just turn around to have a look around, you do see something peeping out of the undergrowth. And just going over and investigating, it looks to be like the rusted hilt of a sword.
Oh, look at this! It's a sword. In the trees, in the bushes. I'll just sort of see if I can part the bushes back a little bit and look at the sword before I grab hold of it. But if it's looking just like it's stuck in the ground, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, it's a regular sword, kind that you find these days. A short sword. Blade was partly embedded in the earth. The hilt itself, the leather has started to come undone. It hasn't been maintained for a long time. You reckon it's been there at least about 5-10 years by the decay on it.
Oh, this has been here a while. What do you think? And I'll hold it out to Farron, warrior. He knows about swords.
Well, I'll take a look at it.
Typical short sword.
Yeah, it's fine, you know. I sort of
Not
feel the weight of
especially
it,
well made.
balance. Yeah. Feel the weight and the balance. It's okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
It looks like it never found its mark.
Someone's been here and, well, obviously, either left in a hurry to leave a sword behind or didn't make it out. And I'll thud it into the ground. I'll just throw it into the ground and stick the point in again. Back out in the open.
Yeah. Looks to be one set of tracks.
Okay.
They're definitely going inside.
All right, so definitely I've sort of been inside this.
Yeah.
Right.
What are we waiting for? We'll never make our fortune out here.
I go, well, the tomb is here, so nothing's stopping you.
Well, yeah, that's an invitation. Off he goes.
Yeah, you have to stoop your head a little to get in, and Tamo will definitely have to move sideways. That makes it easier. He's a bit of a barrel.
Right, just be careful. Just don't go rushing in. There could be anything in there.
No, don't worry about it. They'll set all the traps off.
Bloody amateurs.
Would you like to lead, little man?
Oh, not going to lead as such, but, you know, just be careful.
Tomolite just narrows his eyes at him. I will try my best.
We'll go blunder in and get us all killed.
Go on, big man. Stop blocking the light.
I duck under and follow in then.
Yeah, there's a light enough to light up partway inside this room. It appears to be a single chamber that you're stepping into. I've done a little drawing for you. And that's basically what it is. There's some leaves and things. Animals are probably crawling here to die, so there's animal bones scattered around, and leaves and various other little bits that have come in. The tracks.
Farron goes back to the entrance and says, Baylock, get in here. There's nothing here. What do you send? It brings us all this way.
Okay, I'll pop in and have a look in there.
Yeah, seeing it seems to be safe because no one's, yeah, they're okay. Tor will go in as well and have a look around.
Can I see any tracks on the ground that don't belong to these huge buffoons? That maybe indicate what the whoever was here before was up to. I'm particularly looking for any kind of secret entrances in a sort of in a D&D kind of way.
Yep. Give me a observe roll now you're inside.
Okay. Difficult.
Difficulty's 5.
I'm going to use an Aglaeca dice and re-roll that. Only because I think we need some success in here.
I mean, can I help?
Yeah, give me that.
Right. That's on a hero, so I'm all good.
Yeah, because
Sweet.
no, it's safe. Tor wants to investigate as well.
Right. The tracks that you're following lead up to that far wall and just sort of stop.
All right, okay. So I'm going to walk up to the far wall, take my my hunting knife out, and give it a tap with the hilt.
Right. There are various symbols and things that have been etched into the stone on the inside. Mostly hunting scenes, war fighting scenes, and perhaps even feasting scenes. Well, not like the ones you've seen that you normally experience yourselves. These are definitely ancients. In fact, in some ways, they may even be pre-ancient. You've not really seen anything like this before.
Right.
However, as you're tapping away, you do hear a different ring when you get to the stone where you are there.
Right.
Doing your investigating bit.
There's nothing here.
It feels like this particular animal's head that you're working on at the moment is this. It moves the actual stone that's been worked upon.
All right. Okay.
Moves as if it will depress and push it forwards.
I'll give it a go. When I do, I'll push it in, and then sort of take a step to the side.
Yeah. Is anyone else taking any precautionary action?
Phone's bored. He's going back towards the entrance.
We just want to be sort of like watching what Baylor's doing and trying to help him out.
I think maybe I'm looking at another wall.
Yeah, there's a funny bump on that left wall. No, it either could be where my wrist jiggled as I was drawing it, or it could actually be some feature.
Oh, I thought you were drawing peanuts.
That's what you want.
I could be assessing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tor
wanted to investigate the room as well and look around.
The stone depresses in, and there's a click, and a large section sort of moves back into its frame as if it was a doorway. It doesn't move out of the way, it doesn't slide anywhere up or down, it just pops back slightly.
Right. I'll here you go, look, and I'll point to the door. I go, your treasure waits.
Stand back before you push it open. Be careful. You stand to one sort of side of it and sort of push it open with his foot. Not actually going in there and standing in front of it. Just.
Yep, even that slight pressure from your foot swings it back.
We're going to need some light in there.
It swings back 90 degrees. And there's a dark room beyond. Something on the far side glitters in what meagre light there is. It's silent in there, silent as a tomb.
We're going to need some torches.
Tomo lights one. Or goes outside and gets one from his horse and comes back and lights one. And holds it above their head.
Make a observe roll when you go back outside.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to say I don't think I would have tied Sanai, my horse, up, because I imagine on the steps they don't have much to tie them to. So there's just kind of an implicit bond that means that they'll stay put. Just in case you're about to murder all the horses.
I've got to tie mine up.
Yeah. So what's the
be careful when you go around my horse. He's not called Biter for nothing.
Difficulty 5.
Okie dokie. 2 success.
Okay, you don't see anything, but you do hear movement from the trees off to your left, which would be decided in this sort of direction.
So maybe I go to rummage for the torch or something, strapped to the side, and I kind of look up and catch something. I try, in an unusually subtle move, I try to play it off by not having noticed, and I take the torch and walk back to, like, around where the entrance is, which I'm guessing that's where Farron is.
Farron's near the entrance.
And I just say in like a low rumbling tone to try not alert anything that's coming at us. We are not alone.
Oh no, there's the other two. They're over
there. And he shakes his head and kind of like jerks his head back towards the outside. And I'm not talking about the horses.
You got Twitch?
I think the Alpha are returning.
Oh, when you say so. Okay. So Farron will go back inside without having come out and inform the others of the superstitions of Tomor. He's at it again. He thinks them elves things are out there.
Okay. And Tamar lights the torch.
Yeah. I'll enter in after and light the torch.
It does light easily, and you feel a breeze. There's a flutter. The flames flutter slightly, and then it catches properly. But there's definitely a breeze from within that chamber blowing back the way you've come, back to the outside.
So there could be, you're saying there's definitely a breeze coming from within this chamber?
Yeah.
There could be a chimney or something from above, couldn't it, I suppose?
What can we see if we hold the torch in the doorway?
There's a much more finely decorated room with a depression, circular depression, step down that you can see. You can just about make out halfway across that with the light, and there's definitely it's shining off something metallic on the other side of the room. You'd have to take about 2 or 3 steps into the room to actually see what's beyond that circular depression. The room itself continues around. Looks like there's a darker area off to each side, probably another tunnel.
How many torches did you get?
I mean, I'm not sure. I have travelling gear, so I presume there was at least one torch.
Yeah, could have brought a couple in if you wanted.
I was just going to say, how many torches did you bring in? Because I mean, obviously,
Oh, two? I don't know. Lit one, lit another off that one, held them
Okay.
out. He wasn't planning on holding a torch for too long, in case the fight starts. But
We could actually, it's some kind of way of bracketing one of the torches in this first cave. Stick it in a crevice in a wall or something like that.
That's quite likely.
Okay, then maybe have one because we've all probably got torches. So maybe have one lodged into the cave entrance as a way of indicating our way back.
Well, if there's only a couple of torches and there's four of us, Farron will go outside and fetch another two.
I presume we have all got torches, yeah. So
Yeah, so I'll go and fetch another two from my horse.
All right. Observe roll when you go outside.
What's my observe? Not very good, I don't think. Oh yeah, there we go.
Difficulty 5.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Oh, I think I've walked into a horse.
Yeah,
Bate is taking a nip at your shoulder.
even though Tamar had said there was the Alpha are coming back, you can't see anything out there.
Yeah, I go back in with the torches, light a couple, hand them out, and told you there was nothing out there.
There are a couple of sconces, like I've put a little circle on walls as you go in. That door actually will fold all the way back on itself.
Tomo's shaking his head. No one sees them being preyed on.
Yeah. So who's going in then and placing the torches in?
well, we're placing one in here. So I'm gonna not torch. I'm gonna do it in yellow. Oh, fuck off.
Oh yeah, like flames.
So
Yeah, I've lost all the pictures off mine. I might need to log out and go back in again.
put one there just so it lights up this cave area.
Oh, let's come back.
Yeah.
There's one there. And then whoever goes into the next rooms would be finding something we can place a torch in there as well. We need to investigate this room anyway and see what's in it, I guess.
Yep. Who's stepping through? Anyone? They all just sort of.
Need someone to be brave. I'll just step in.
Yeah, Tor will go in. He's interested in finding out what's in there. I can't move that.
Yeah. Well, what you see instantly clears your mind of any dregs of the tormentuous night that you've had. So you won't be suffering the -1 anymore.
Ooh, excellent.
But on the far side, oops, no, that's it straight. That change up there. There's a throne.
No.
Seated upon that throne is a figure in ancient armor that's glinting with. It's obviously been gilded in gold. Gilt in gold, sorry.
Okay, so as I creep into the room, I'll call out to them and tell them what I can see.
Right. However, the thing within the armour is skeletal. His arms are held out upon the arms of the throne, and resting across his lap is this large sword. His armour is really ornate. And it's similar to like a centurion's armour. Slightly similar to the stuff that Farron's wearing. They're much better quality. But the other interesting thing scattered around him are human skulls and human bones.
Okay, there seems to be a lot of dead people in here, skulls everywhere. But there seems to be very similar armor to what Fallon's wearing.
Oh, Farron jumps into that room at that point and sees what he can see. Oh, now that's the good stuff.
Right, is everybody in?
I want to be standing in the doorway because I don't want it to be closed on us.
Okay.
From where I'm standing, can I see, are those the ancient remains of skeletons long past, or do they still have like flesh on them, like they've been recently predated on by elves?
You're right. They're recent ones. They're showing obvious signs of decay, but they're not ancient. You reckon somewhere around, you can only guess, but perhaps 10 years. And they're wearing relatively modern armour compared to the ancients. The weaponry that's strewn about, swords and things, swords and axes.
Fern, look. Those bodies do not match the king, the general. Those are victims.
Yeah, it always happens in royalty. I like that. But, armor's nice.
I think some of those bones have teeth marks on them.
Tor will creep a bit closer to this depression and see what's in there.
Yeah, it just looks like some kind of decorative feature. I think it's just a step down. It's covered in, it's stone, it's built of stone.
But he won't step in it. He'll continue around the edge and then look down this right-hand tunnel.
All right, observe roll.
Observe. What's the TDN on that?
It would be, is he carrying a torch?
Yes, I think he would be. Yeah, if he's gone in there, he'd have got a torch to see what you're seeing more closely.
Difficulty 4.
4. 2 success.
Yeah, you see 2 pairs of unblinking eyes staring at you from within.
Oh, and he starts backing up. Oh dear.
Okay, and then
He's getting nightmares or flashbacks from last night.
and then we'll do some combat.
Hey.
What is it, little man? What do you see?
Those eyes again. It's those eyes. From
You
last
hear a
night.
whistling yell noise, and that's followed very shortly by an attack by 6 of these creatures. 2 from each of the passages in the circular room, and 2 more from outside as they come dashing in.
Okay. Tomo was by, like I said, by the exit, and he was probably making sure it was clear, so he'll be engaging those guys.
Right. Okay. Let's just tell you a little bit about fighting.
How wide are the entrances? Can we bottle them in there, or are they in the room?
How far in were you? Just do a quick.
Well, Tor was about here when he saw what was down the corridor, when he's backed up a bit.
Yeah.
And
Was anybody actually in the outer entrance where I'm just trying a quick circle?
I was inside the. I was around the inside of the inner door, so I was kind of out here.
yeah, and Farron would be about there.
I figured that I was basically in the doorway, roughly.
Okay, so you see those two bounding in from outside. They wouldn't be able to get past you. You're blocking that doorway.
Oh no, not the outer one. I don't think I was that far because I saw the king and everything. So I'm in the inner doorway.
Yeah, that's right. They've come bounding in through the outer one.
Okay,
Into that first misshapen area, and they'll be engaging you very shortly.
Yeah, sure.
2 dash from the right and go for Tor. 2 more coming from the other side. We'll probably have 1 opponent each. So we'll do Tamar first.
Sure. Do they get like an ambush on us or anything?
No, it's going to be simultaneous.
Right.
So you're just going to be rolling. It depends what you decide, what action you decide to do. You could just go. You could basically go all-out attack, which is attack, or you could engage, which is trying to find an opening as well as defending yourself. Or you could run away.
I've got that bone breaker attack.
Yeah, you probably have to step in as they're coming towards you.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll step into this chamber and fight like the 2 of them, and just be like, Asgira smites you, and like whirl that huge maul into the side, the flank of 1 or whatever of the elves.
So you're not taking any sort of defense. You're just going all-out attack, basically.
Nope. Why not?
And that's what they were doing too. So this is going to be bloody if you both hit each other.
Okay.
But they are acting as a pair, which means they get a slightly better chance to hit you. But if you take them out, you're going to take them both out in some heroic fashion.
That's what we're here for.
Yep. So they're on 5 dice. But you're wearing armor.
I am armored. Yes.
Which means they need a 5 to hit you. They aren't armored, which means you need a 4 to hit them.
Okay, so I roll my
4, and they get 0 successes.
Wow.
Well, they get a monster, which is good for them.
Okay, so I roll my battle, which is 5. Yep. And the success is 4.
Difficulty is 4. Did you want to?
So, if I hit, which I presume I do, I get an added 1 because of the bone breaker, and if I get 3 successes, which I've got 4 successes, there is a broken bone element to it.
There certainly is, and it's a bit more serious than that because that is enough. 4 is enough to take them both out in one go.
Right. So I yell that Asgira smites you, and this huge star maul comes clattering in from, I don't know, like the right-hand side as both of them leap at him, and he just basically busts the first one and carries on into the next one, and maybe like lifts them both because they're both jumping off the ground, kind of redirects them into a wall. There's just a sickening crunch as both of them sandwich against each other.
Oh. Yeah, and then the maul itself carries on into the wall, and there's a thump.
If I didn't have armor, you would have hit me twice. That's really good. And he's without a scratch, and he turns around, and Baylor, you said you were there, watching apparently.
Yeah, I'm still in my doorway, so I'm yeah.
Watching that.
2 dash out of the right hand and go to engage Tor.
Yeah.
What sort of action are you taking? Are you taking the defense? You can. Well, there's 3 basic options. You can all-out attack, regularly attack, which means you get some defensive benefits too, or you can just run away.
I'm going to do the regular attack.
All right. Okay, so successes that you use can be put against any successes they get, like you parry or blocking. But they are going all out attack. That's what they do.
Okay.
Coming screaming with that high pitched whistling, screaming sound. And They're ganging up on you again, I'm afraid. So, and is he just simply protected?
Yes.
Oh, well, actually, he's still protected, which means there's still nearly 5 to hit him, but he just doesn't get any benefits for reducing damage. So they jump in that similar fashion, only this time they get 3 successes on you. And
Okay.
you, in turn, roll your battle against difficulty 4.
Which is... You got a 1.
Okay. One of them gets hurt, but they both come in and strike at you, causing 3 wounds.
3.
Ouch.
What's his hurt box?
4.
What's his physique for? That's all right. He's still all right. Just scratches. He'll be all right. Oh, my bad. You only took 2 because your success.
Okay.
You can use that to cancel one of those out.
Okay.
2's enough though. 2's quite nasty for a single attack. And then we go on to another 2 leaping in on Farron. That's the X, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
What fighting action are you taking?
Well, he doesn't really know much about these, so he's going to go the normal attack, but he's pulls his twin axes out, so he gets 2 attacks.
Right.
One of that, I believe, is at the +5 or something.
Second one's at a 5+, so they're both at 5 on 5. So I'll just roll them first. All right, so they're going to get 1 in, and your first attack is your battle dice against a 4+, and then the second one's against a 5+.
Right, so let me just look that up. Battle, right.
Oh. That's nice. That's going to take care of one of them. Oh dear. Oh, you're better with your offhand, by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It's a bit easy, lefty.
Well, okay. And you're wearing armour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's... They're small dagger. You've seen a dagger similar to that, probably attached to Baylor's belt. One of them tries scratching it. Well, it scratches against the side of your breastplate, causing a little groove in it that'll need repairing, but no other effect. And then you just basically come in. Well, you describe it. Your two hits. Take 1 out each.
Okay, yeah. Where's my father's armour? And he basically sort of crosses his arms and smashes each head from the inside, so that it's sort of left and right-handed into the head, and they crumple where they stood.
They do. Nice. Well, and then, would you like to do anything? Hello?
Oh, right. Is anybody left?
It looks like Tor's is a bit hard pressed.
Okay.
He's
Well,
fighting too.
I've got my bow, so I'm gonna basically take a shot at one of the ones on tour.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll step into the doorway and
Fair enough.
rapid shot. Both of them.
That was a good idea. A rapid shot, yeah. Go on.
Yep. So basically, with a rapid shot, I get my normal attack, and then the second attack is at a difficulty of 5. So,
Yeah.
what's the difficulty of the first shot?
It's a 4. They're unarmored, these creatures.
Okay, so difficulty. First one's a difficulty of 4. So this is the first shot. That's a 2. And my second shot was always going to be a difficulty of 5. So I don't have much choice in that. Second shot. So both hit.
Okay. Is Bale right or left-handed?
Why?
It's a 50-50 chance of whether you take them both out or whether you just.
Oh, right.
One of them's already injured.
All right, I'll be right-handed. Yeah.
Okay, I'd say in that case, is Tor right or left-handed?
He's right-handed.
Yeah, good. So you take one of them out with that shot. That 2 points.
Okay.
Hits the one that had already been injured.
Cool.
And the other one sticks in the shoulder.
Just slightly more injured.
The other one, yeah, it's just a bit peeved.
All right.
Good shooting.
Thanks.
Nice.
My job.
Well, that was first engagement, the first round. There are 5 dead Clefdelfer at your feet, and one just standing there. If he had eyelids, he would be blinking rapidly, but at the moment he's just staring at Tor, getting ready to come in for the hopefully killing blow. I'll say a new round is starting, and I think we'll let Baylor go soon as he's got a ranged weapon and he's got it all ready and he's quick.
Yep. Well, if there's no one else, I'm going to aim at the other one on Tor.
Right.
So again, my is it still a 4?
Yep.
First one, 3. That's nice. And the second one is obviously a 5, so it's going to be a 1. So again, 2 hits.
Yep. Well, you were standing there, Tor. There were 2 facing you.
There's 2 disappeared.
And then suddenly they got filled full of arrows. Pum, 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 pum.
Oh, thank God for that. So Tor wasn't handling that very well because it was just brought back the night before, and he was a bit stunned by that, really.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's how combat works.
Yep.
And it was slightly iffy for Tor, but everyone else was a match to it. These are there's 3 levels of opposition. These were the lowest. But there were 6 of them, so you're outnumbered. And I rolled reasonably well, so I think that works. Your heroes, you should be winning, and you did.
Yeah, I mean, we can always cock up, can't we? We're just lucky on the rolls. I think there's been situations in the past where we've been really unlucky.
Yep, so that was cool. It was okay. And
Tomo pulls his hands away from the mole that is still embedded in the wall and keeping the elves pinned there, and he kind of like dusts his hands off and walks right up close to one of them and like grabs it by the chin, the cheeks, and just goes, "Puny elf things," and then like spits on the ground as he sees the light fade from their eyes.
Yeah, Tor's going to make sure he goes over and thanks Baylor for that. That's on the shoulder.
All right, you know.
I'll remember that. Thank you.
you should be able to recover at least a couple of those arrows.
Not really. Honourable killing from a distance.
Yeah. Right, so the spoils. As you check around, make sure there aren't any more anywhere. I'll speed things up a bit since we're getting on now. Just to let you know what's going on. You will find out that these creatures, these Cleft Alpha, have actually created some kind of nest down this right-hand one. There are more bones in there, human bones, that they've been feasting on. The ones in the main room, you'll find some identification marks on them, and one of them is that heroine, Eyeless.
Ah, right.
So you pick up all of their equipment. Most of it's it needs repairing, so you'd have to get it to civilization and get somebody working on it. But it's certainly serviceable after a bit of maintenance. However, the important thing is this suit of armor with its gold leaf on it. It is indeed the remains of the old general. And that armor alone is probably worth a king's ransom, you reckon?
Wow.
And the sword?
And the sword looks nice too. It hasn't tainted. And if that's an ancient weapon, it's 10,000 years at least old.
Wow.
I'm sure Tamor has absolutely no frame of reference for that. That is far older than he'd even consider. Like,
The hilt, obviously with it being leather or some kind of material, has faded away, so it's just bare metal, but the metal itself. In fact, actually, it's quite likely that it would be star metal itself in the general's sword. So you would see certain similarities, not exactly the same. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that they used to do with this star metal ore when they could actually refine it and melt it down and work it.
looks like the general had good taste.
Well, he doesn't need it now.
No, he doesn't.
And just looking around, there will be other trinkets, maybe a chest or two of coins to carry out, and some other things that he would have been buried with or entombed with.
What about the left-hand passage?
That's basically a mirror of the other side. It looks like it was used for ceremonial purposes. But the elves were down this side here. And outside, your horses are still all right, just munching on a bit of grass, looking around, wondering what all the noise was about. But there we are. That was the tomb in the forest.
It's,
a small adventure for Aglaeca.
That's how Aglaeca works.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, I was actually pleased with the way that went. It is very cinematic, and it allows for heroes to shine.
Yeah.
When they roll well.
Which is a problem for us.
There's a few times I had to use my Aglaeca points. So, I'm glad I had 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really get an opportunity to use that, but it was always a possibility, I suppose, if we didn't roll well.
Yeah, you do recover them at various frequency.
Yeah.
If it was a protracted campaign, you'd be recovering them back and recovering your wounds as well fairly quickly.
Yeah, your description of the wealth of this tomb seems a bit excessive compared to the amount of money people tend to have. Is this particularly wonderful?
Yeah, well, bearing in mind, unless you do a runner, you're going to be giving at least a fifth of it to Queen Maldar.
Yeah.
And then there's 4 of you, so...
Yeah, well, people sort of, well, in my sort of cast, start out with 15 copper coins, you know, so compared to that, you know, where would you sell such a thing even?
Yep, that's another problem. that's the thing about it, because you're getting such wealthy things. You basically be, like I said, a king's ransom. That's probably what you'd use it for.
Yeah, who's got enough money to buy it from you?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got any kings we want to ransom, I don't think.
No, so you'd be able to buy a king's favour at some point in the future.
Yeah,
Oh,
I suppose
break
that's
it
more
down.
useful.
Also, it might make us a target and have to protect it from other treasure hunters that weren't as
Yeah, we just can't carry it around though, can we?
I have to wrap it up.
I'll tell you what, I'll wear it and cover it up with something.
Sure.
I won't run off, promise.
Muddy it up.
Yeah, so that's basically it. That's Aglaeca.
That's good.
Yeah, I really like the system.
I always enjoy Aglaeca, so.
I enjoyed it. I think it worked quite well. I like your little. I like the spreadsheet and how it works all these things out for you. I like the multi-layered like customization. I think that's always good. There's a lot of different character combinations between like where you're born and what your star sign is, and of what your profession is. So I think there's a lot of replayability in that way, with different stats, and there's a lot of them. Didn't use that many of them, so I think there's a lot.
I designed it as a fighty game and just tagged everything else on.
Well, I think it worked.
It will get used.
Yeah, all of that stuff's going to be used in your campaign character development, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So ideal really for that.
Skills in the game, are there? It's all stat based. Like sort of, if you think of it that way, I suppose they are skills, but it's ability based, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I managed to get in some of the problems and some of the advantages, which is nice. I do wonder, like, it seemed like most people were using the multi-attack and then somehow ended up more successful with their offhand attack, just through dice. But I wonder how. I mean, it would take more playtesting how powerful that option is of attacking once rather than twice, but at a higher level, because you don't. It's not. So I for instance got one attack at a 4 difficulty, and they got one attack at a 4 and an extra free attack at a 5. I don't know if because they're attacking twice, both of them should be more difficult, as it was, I think, in like 3.5 and Pathfinder, when you're two-handing weapons or dual-wielding weapons, like both of the hits are slightly harder to do because of the advantage of hitting twice.
Yeah, we'll play test it a bit more, but I think that's a valid point.
It's just a thought in terms of pure maths, which aren't necessarily my specialty, but I can see it as being quite strong, especially maybe over the other combat options. If they were, because each of those was only like one choice out of 3, but it seems like quite a big choice to make. Not that, I mean, in that combat I successfully squished everything anyway, so it's just a thought that can be very difficult to power balance.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't it also give you more chance to fail?
But I didn't see
2 attacks.
What happens when you fail, because I didn't see there being a detriment to rolling low.
If you roll a monster, then I think it can be bad, can it, Ian?
Yeah, extra things could happen. maybe twisting your blade twists or whatever in your hand. It's just a narrative thing once the monsters and the heroes come up.
If there is a larger chance to fail from attacking more, like, I mean, obviously, as the first combat, I didn't see how pronounced that would be. Then that is something to factor in, but it didn't seem like rolling low was that negative.
No,
Well, I don't think we actually rolled very low. I think that's part of the thing.
Yeah, possibly.
the lowest was a single success, I think, in that fight.
Yeah,
And
it
a
was
single
mine.
success does something. So unless you roll nothing, or you're rolling against someone who's all out defending against you, you're not going to do anything to people.
Because it's a comparative combat, isn't it? It's a contest. So if they rolled like 3 successes and you rolled like 1 success on your first attack and 2 successes on your second, that equals out, right? That would be how it would work.
No, it depends on their armor.
Right. But it's giving you 2 chances to like up your success chance to combat a foe that you're fighting that they're only rolling once. It's just my thought.
Yeah.
But we'll come with more experimentation, more practice. But I thought I very much enjoyed that playthrough.
The only thing I would say in now is it would be nice to do a slightly longer campaign to see a bit more in the progression sort of stakes of what happens in the longer term rather than just one-off fights.
Yeah. Yeah, we could keep these characters, and I'll do another one. Maybe picking up a month or so further on down the line, where you've moved on to somewhere else, and we'll have a look at.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I mean, character development in terms of the narrative is the same in more or less any game, but how does the character perform long term? We've had good successes tonight, but that hasn't always been the case.
Yeah, we can test out the leveling stuff, and if we get more fighting styles or more abilities, or do you have like an injury system where you lose stat points through wounds and things?
No. Once you get hurt, you start to suffer negatives. Is that what you mean?
No. I was thinking more like long term, but that's good to know that once you get hurt, you start performing worse. But I wondered if there was like a lingering injury style thing where
that's similar to the thing where you get the broken bones.
Okay, and that lingers for longer.
Yeah. Basically, it would last perhaps a series of scenarios.
So several sessions.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that would be
scenic constraint. That's the word.
I thought that would be interesting over time. If you went down to those elves, for instance, and got clawed up, you might like lose a point in physique or something for a period of time until you're healed, or maybe permanently, depending on how harsh you wanted to run your game.
Yep, I'll make a note of that. But I'll stop the broadcast now, and we can chat on it after if you want to. Yep, thanks for watching. That was Aglaeca and Aglaeca playtest. I'm sure we'll be doing more in the future. Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.